We want to switch gears to Florida, where jury selection is underway in our next live trial, the abused wife or murderer trial. We expect opening statements to get underway tomorrow for 44-year-old Marcia Thompson. She is charged in the fatal shooting of her husband, Terry, back in August of 2019. Now, Marcia, the wife, claims that she shot him in self-defense after Terry, threatened to kill her. But the state says there was no threat on that night in question. Before I bring in my guest to break this down, here's a closer look at the case against Marcia Thompson. August 9th, 2019, West Palm Beach police respond to a 911 call and find 52-year-old Terry Thompson unresponsive on the floor of his living room. He had 9 gunshot wounds, 6 in his back and 3 more in his chest. His wife, Marcia, made the 911 call and admitted to shooting her husband.
Marcia Thompson's alleging here to the court that she was defending herself and that she was in an abusive relationship with Terry Thompson.
She claimed he had a history of abusing her and she acted in self-defense.
At the moment where she shot her husband, she believed that he was going to seriously hurt or kill her.
Prosecutors say Marcia Thompson's actions were unjustified. According to court documents, Terry was unarmed and laying on the couch with a computer on his lap when she opened fire. She and Terry Thompson met in 2001 and were together for almost 20 years. Their 2 children were in the house when the shooting occurred. Her attorney says their relationship was volatile and Terry was unfaithful and abusive.
It's our position, Judge, that the alleged infidelity is part of the abuse. It's something that he abused her with.
Prosecutors say his affairs are not relevant to the case.
The state's position that this is not relevant in any way, and it solely would be introduced to affect the jury's opinion of the character of Mr. Thompson.
Marcia Thompson has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder and will be asserting battered spouse syndrome in her defense. If she is convicted, she could be sentenced to life in prison. All right, still with us, criminal defense attorney Joe Tamburino, and joining us now, criminal defense attorney Marie Pereira. Marie, welcome to our panel as we talk about this case. And I want to back up just a step because, as is possible in the state of Florida, this defendant already filed a stand your ground motion in which she alleged she had the right to stand her ground. The judge did not grant that, and here's why. The judge said that there was no evidence presented that there was an incident at or near the time that she shot her husband. Marie, is that, in your opinion, the best ruling for the stand your ground motion that's already been made?
I was thinking when you said stand your ground, what was she standing her ground to? What was happening? What was the underlying situation that made her have to stand her ground? So if there was nothing to show that she felt a threat, he did something to her, then stand your ground really doesn't apply because you murdered someone because you're alleging you felt fear for your life. If there was no such situation, then stand your ground does not apply.
Yeah, I agree with you, Marie, but Joe, let's add some additional facts to that because we also know that her claim is that her husband, number one, came home late, that they had a running argument all night long that continued to last, that he threatened to slit her throat and to kill her. And he did that multiple times before she ended up shooting him 9 times while he was on the couch, and he did not have a weapon. But her argument is battered spouse syndrome self-defense. That's what she'll claim in this trial. What are your thoughts knowing those additional facts?
I think it's going to be very difficult for her to actually, be successful with that defense. The stand your ground ruling was the correct ruling. For something like that, there wasn't enough evidence to bar her or to bar the state from going forward with the case for trial. The worst piece of evidence for this defendant is the following: the forensics, where Mr. Thompson was shot, what he was doing while he was shot. They're going to be able to show that he was on the couch. I would imagine they're going to be able to show that he was on the couch when the first bullets hit him, not that he was all of a sudden getting up from the couch, throwing his computer at her, charging her, anything like that. You're going to look at the forensic blood spatter evidence, and then you have the shots in the back. What was the body's position when that happened? Did he fall over because of the first shots, and was he on the ground when he got put bullets in his back? We don't know. And that's going to be the most damaging part to this defendant's case.
All right, but let me ask you this, Marie, just quickly. I mean, it's sad because there are allegedly witnesses who will testify about other incidents by him, an incident at a golf course where he was violent, an incident of him stalking, another incident where she actually went to the hospital because of what he did to her. And with all those things in mind, you understand she may be a victim of domestic violence.
It's okay to be a victim of domestic violence. I get that part, but it's not okay for you to plot days later or weeks later to murder and get revenge against that person. We have laws for that. I'm a DV expert, and I represent women who have been battered. However, it doesn't give you the right to murder someone, to claim that you were beat up by that person. So after the fact, while they're, laying down, you ambush, shoot to kill. That's not a defense.